evening and welcome to Donnie's Kitchen. This is my first video of tonight. So it's January 1st, 2023. Hello and happy new year to you all. God bless you. I hope you all are having a prosperous and wonderful day today. Hope you had a great and wonderful day, blessed day. So my first video is going to be gumbo. So I'm going to give you a rundown of what I have here because I got home, relaxed for a minute or so I can get everything ready for my gumbo tonight. And I'm also making cornbread. I have the 1 box of a Jiffy mix. This is what I just used, just the 1 box. And you can use 1 egg and 1/3 cup of milk that you have in your refrigerator. So we're going to make the cornbread with my gumbo. So that's why it's just like right here in this container over here. And the egg is definitely already room temperature. So definitely make sure you write down and take notes that you want. And my skillet is already on medium-low heat because I'm a beginner on making a roux. So a roux is, you will need just 1 cup of vegetable oil or canola oil or whichever vegetable oil that you use. Any oil that you use for your cooking. And it's just 1 cup. And it is 1 cup of flour, all-purpose flour. That's just right there. And please excuse my kitchen. It's not together, but it'll be together in a few weeks. But yes, and you will need 3 bay leaves for your gumbo. You will need 1 stick of celery, or if you like celery, you can use 2 celery sticks. This is the Creole of the gumbo. So it's 1 stick of celery cut up good fine. I'll show you how I chopped it up pretty good, just like that. Hope you can see it. Yeah. Okay, that's just 1 stick of celery. And then this is a half of a green bell pepper, and they're very good medium to like small chunks, medium slices that I did cut up. And this is a half of a red bell pepper in the same chopping order of the green bell pepper. And then this is 1 yellow onion that I chopped up in medium size, just as the green bell pepper, celery, and red bell pepper. And the seasonings is, this is 1 tablespoon of the Old Bay seasoning, and this is 1 tablespoon of the Creole seasoning, which is right here. You can use Tony's, chacherres seasoning, but this is the gumbo fillet that you add at the end. But I do have the Zatarain's Creole seasoning, so I used 1 teaspoon of the Zatarain's Creole seasoning, and then I used 1 teaspoon of the Old Bay, 1 teaspoon of that, and then I used 1, you can see that, 1 tablespoon of the parsley flakes, and then 1 tablespoon of the basil leaves. I cannot talk right. And then for the other seasoning, I use 1. If you can see that, it's just like, you can see it. It's just 1 tablespoon of the garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of another Cajun seasoning, 1/2 of teaspoon of the ground black pepper. So those are my seasonings, and this is the Creole, if you can see, hope you can see, of everything that I chopped up, cut up, and everything. And then this is the black ground pepper that you can use. This is a very good seasoning to me. It's by Spice Supreme. So I use 1/2 teaspoon of the ground black pepper, and a tablespoon of the garlic powder. It depends on how you like your gumbo, or whichever. You can put as much as a tablespoon or half a tablespoon. You can cut out the half and put half a teaspoon of garlic powder, and you can also do half teaspoon of onion powder. It depends on you, your kitchen, your gumbo, your way. And then this is the parsley flakes right here, and this is the basil leaves that I use. Sorry, basil leaves, and this is the parsley flakes that I used. And then this is the Cajun spice seasoning also as well. And I put this also on my shrimp, including the Old Bay, just half a teaspoon of each on my shrimp. And then this is the bay leaves that I use. It comes in a clear package with all the bay leaves already inside of the clear package in this container here. But I only use 3 bay leaves. So yeah, and my skillet is on medium-low heat, so you want to make sure that you have a whisk, if you know, to make sure that you won't, so that way when you make your roux won't, you know, get all sticky with the flour. So you will want to just take 1 cup of vegetable oil, put that in. And you also want to make sure you have running water, so that way you can clean as you go in your kitchen. That's just how my mom and my grandmothers and my aunts always taught us when we were little, you know, especially me when I was little, because I was 3 years old and I always wanted to see what they were doing in the kitchen. So at 3 years old, barely able to see over the counter, I was watching and everything. They let me do some stuff, but not too much. And as I got older, they let my mom and my grandmothers and my aunts let me do a lot more when I got between 5 and 7 and 8 and 9 and up. You know, as a preteen, they let me do a whole lot. So yeah, so I'm gonna pour in my 1 cup of flour. So, and as you pour it in, just go gradually, and then you just whisk, because as you whisk, you want to make sure that your roux won't stick and your flour won't be, you know, won't go anywhere. And also make sure with your roux that you also make sure you stand right here. Do not go anywhere. Don't answer your phone, your cell phone, or nothing like that. You know, tell that person you call it back because you're making a roux and you don't want to go anywhere. You want to stand right here as you make your roux, because if you step away for a minute or more, your roux is going to get all burnt, and you don't want your roux to be burnt, because then you got to start all over. So you want to make sure you have your whisk right here and just stir. So I added just a little bit. I'm going to keep going, and then it depends on you, however you want your roux to be or what color. And right now it's a light ivory color for the roux. And then, like I said, my stovetop is on medium low, because this is my first time ever doing gumbo. But I did gumbo before about 5 years ago, and I totally forgot how to do it. So I'm just showing you of the roux. So I'm just doing the roux at the beginning, so that way the roux can be already ready. You can add your vegetables, your chopped vegetables, and then your seasonings. And then as it gets time to add your chicken broth, you also want to get 1 quart or more than 1 quart too at your local grocery store. A couple of quarts of Swanson's chicken broth, or like Swanson's chicken stock. Or you can also use as well too. If you can find it at your local Walmart, definitely make sure that you get your it's like a seafood. I think it's a seafood broth. Definitely make sure your local Walmart has it at your local Walmart for your for seasonings. I mean for chicken. I'm sorry, not chicken, but seafood broth. So definitely check out your local Walmart, and this roux will take a good hour or less. So make sure that you have your roux already ready, and also make sure you have your vegetables chopped up and everything, and make sure that you have your your chicken chopped up as well, and your sausage chopped up as well. Make sure you have that. So I want to let you know right now in the beginning of this video, my first video on in Donnie's kitchen. This is what my roux is still looking like. It's looking kind of like still light, but I also want to just take a spoon real quick. There we go. And get that out. So, and I'm not leaving this roux until the way I want my roux to be. And I want to turn it down some more too as well, because I haven't made my roux in so long. It's been over 5 years since I made my actually roux. So yeah. Yep. So yeah. And yeah. So this is what I'm doing right now. Just stirring my roux. And yeah. And my rice, not rice. You also want to make sure you have at least 2 bags or more than 2 bags. If it depends on what family size you have, because it's just me and Hamilton. So it's just him and I. And you know, I'm not making a whole lot of gumbo, but this is the stock pot I'm going to put the gumbo in when the roux is done and the vegetables and everything else. So right now my roux is still like a light ivory color. So yeah, that's it. But make sure, you know, also as well too, you want to make sure that you have your 6 cups of water into a pot or a bigger pot, however you know you want your rice to be. I mean, not rice, where you know you want your rice to be. If you want to do the rice out of the bag, you can. I believe it's like 1 cup of rice and 2 cups of water, like that, and then that's how you make your rice. But me, you know, as a not a beginner as a cook, but just as a homemade cook, because that's me. I'm just a homemade cook, and I just buy the 2 boxes of, like, or more sometimes, of a success rice, you know, that you get about 4 to 6 bags in the box per box. And that's just what I do, because I like rice. Even as a diabetic, I was supposed to have a lot of rice, but I do. But yeah, this is just how I'm beginning to do my roux, and I showed you all about the my vegetables and my seasonings. And definitely make sure that you too as well, that you also get, if you can't find this like at Walmart, you definitely find this Tony's gumbo fillet at your local grocery store or at Walmart or whichever grocery store is convenient and for you. But welcome to Donnie's Kitchen. That is my YouTube channel, my second YouTube channel, called In Donnie's Kitchen. So welcome everyone, and make sure you take notes, relax, grab yourself something to drink of your choice, and take notes to see if you want to make this gumbo. You can, and I'll leave everything in the description box below. So I will be back. Okay, bye bye. Okay, step 2. Before I got on video, I made sure my hands was washed, and then as I was cleaning up my counter and cleaning up the dishes and my sink, that is what I did with some soapy dish soap. And then this is the shredded chicken here, as you can see, shredded. It's 1 pound. It's 1 pound of shredded chicken. This is what it is look like at our grocery store that we work at. Hope you can see that. You might not can't, but it's about 1 pound. So that's what I use for my shredded chicken. And then I shredded it up in chunks too, like a little bit more for the chicken. And now this here is the sausage right here. I'm still cutting up some more. And then this is the family size pack that I get for my spaghetti, the Eckrich, since 1894. This is the smoked sausage, what I use, which is with pork and turkey and beef. But they usually have it like in the, it's usually like blue with the white writing. That is the beef sausage that I normally use. That's with skinless. But I wanted to use, this is with skin too. You can use either or. This is about $9.99 at my local grocery store. So I'm letting my sausage cook now in about 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. You can use whatever oil that you use. And then in my kitchen, I always clean as I go, because that's how my mom and my grandmothers and my aunts always taught us young girls to make sure you have a clean kitchen. Make sure your hands are washed first before you do any prepping to your food, and wear gloves. The gloves that I use, and I got this also at my grocery store, the Top Care Health. This is powder free, so this is what I normally use for me when I do any like prepping for chicken or shrimp or anything like that. I'm not allergic, but it's just that I'm trying to cook for Hamilton and I don't want any, type of bad bacteria like in our food when I use that. So then I'm putting the rest of the sausage that I cut up in chunks. You can cut them up any way that you want in your kitchen. Do it your way in your kitchen for your gumbo. And I hope you all enjoyed that intermission for just a few minutes, because I had to finish prepping and stuff like that. So I just did one batch so far with my sausage, and just the 2 tablespoons. And you always want to test, well, not test, but taste your food as you go in your kitchen as well. So I just stirred it, and then after I did my first step of step 1 in my video, I made sure I test my seasonings when I did my roux. My roux came about to the color of my skin. So you want to make sure with your roux you have 1 cup of vegetable oil or canola oil, and then 1 cup of flour. Measure it with your measuring cups, your glass measuring cups by Pyrex, or whichever measuring cups that you have. But make sure your cup of vegetable oil is 1 cup, and your flour, all-purpose flour, is 1 cup into your separate measuring cup also as well. So I'm going to let these cook, but give me 1 second. Oh, neato. Yeah, this is fine. So I'm just taking my spoon just to stir up my first batch of my sausages, and I'm not going to get them too like kind of like smoky, because you want them to be looking like, let me get a fork because I don't want to touch. This is our food, but I'm cooking it, but you want to get them to about like right here on your sausages. So you can definitely use any sausage that you want. You can use the one that I showed you from Eckrich, the family size. And then if you have any sausage left over, you can use it for like another meal. So as this first batch is cooking, I'm going to finish cutting up the rest of your sausages. But you can cut them any kind of way. You can cut them round like this. You can go like half, I'll show you, like half square, like this, like half, cut them up in half pieces. I mean, it's your kitchen, your way. Do your gumbo your way. And also as well too, make sure that your hands are definitely washed as you touching any type of meat, or when you wear gloves. Before you put the gloves on, make sure your hands are washed and clean also as well. And just clean as you go in your kitchen. It's totally your way, your kitchen. But this is I'm just showing you my first video, my first tutorial on my cooking channel. This is how I make my gumbo. And then when I stirred and I put my roux in first into my stock pot here, and I put my vegetables in here. They're raw, so I didn't want to cook them like that, because it'll cook into the roux as you put into your stock pot with your seasonings that I showed you. And also you want to taste as you go your food to see if you need any more seasonings, or if you need more garlic powder, or more anything like that. Just make sure that you see if you need any more like seasonings. Like I said, garlic powder, like parsley, basil leaves, not basil leaves, but like basil flakes, if you need anything like that, or if you need any more salt, pepper, or Cajun seasoning, anything like that. But the seasoning that I put in was perfect amount of each seasoning, and each seasoning was a tablespoon. minus, or except the ground black pepper. I put a half a teaspoon of ground black pepper in there, and I taste a couple times also as well with the actually seasoning to the gumbo. Yes, that's what I did, and make sure the seasoning was right. And I didn't put any salt because with the Cajun seasoning and with the Creole seasoning, that has salt already, because that's a lot of salt. And so I'm just pushing these on the side with my sausages so I can finish cooking up the rest of this second batch of my sausages. And it's going to let you know what I've done in part 2, what I've done already. And I already washed my hands too also as well before I came back on video. And yes, make sure your hands are washed, because you don't want to make your food, any type of food that you're serving to your family, you don't want to make sure that your food you're serving has dirty hands. So you always want to make sure that your hands are clean before you do any prepping. And then plus also you want to make sure you wash your hands off, just rinse them off with a cloth and or paper towel, you know, because your cans come from the factory and it comes from the people that are putting their products on the shelf as well. So you want to make sure that your products are very clean, your cans, your seasonings, because when I buy seasonings, and I know people have touched them, you know, the product people and like the product or manufacturer people, and then plus the people, you know, that put up the food on, you know, on the shelf. I make sure my top containers are clean also as well. Just wanted to make sure you keep your stuff very nice, neat, clean. And yes, so just make sure that this is the second batch of the sausages that I still have to cook, and I'm just waiting on the first batch. And I'm putting the sausages into the stock pot. And these are good. And then you want to put that in there too as well with your gumbo. Okay. Stir it up and let that go. And then also you want to put a couple more tablespoons of like vegetable oil into your same skillet as you cook your first batch of sausages with. And you want to just use just a couple of tablespoons of like a vegetable oil or whichever oil that you need to have. And this is the second batch of sausages of how I cut them up. Can you see? Okay, I just put them in my skillet here. That killed it. So this is the cutting board that I use for sausage. I don't use it for shrimp, because sausages and shrimp with cross contamination, you want to make sure you have a separate cutting board for your shrimp. And I'm just putting this right here. Okay, and also wash your hands, because you just picked something up from the kitchen floor. So give me 1 second to throw this away. And I'm going to wash my hands right now. So any type of meat that you cook with, you always want to wash your hands. Make sure your hands are washed really good. Okay. And then my mom and my aunts and my grandmothers had always taught us to have a paper towel over our shoulder. This is just old school, you know, just from how I was growing up. And they will always make sure to tell us to always have a towel right there on your shoulder, because, you know, you got to wipe, whatever you have from the excess of whatever meat that you're cooking with. And, oh, sorry. Please excuse the mess that I have on the side over here. It's just, yeah, barely room. But it's a good sized kitchen, you know. It's enough just for me and Hamilton. We're truly blessed and grateful for what we have. And yes, so, and then with gumbo, it don't take that long to cook. It takes about a couple of hours. But make sure that all your prepping stuff is done out the way. And yeah, and this is what I put my extra sauces in, because I can make this into a breakfast or brunch, not a brunch but lunch, you know, when Hamilton and I have days off, I can cook something with this. So I'll be right back. Okay, so now this is the chicken right here, putting this in here as well. So that goes in my soapy dishwater, and I'm stirring it in. Oh my goodness, it smells amazing in this kitchen. Oh my Toledo, it smells so good. Holy cannoli, it smells good in here. Wow. You also want to make sure you leave your bay leaves in here for a good another hour onto your food. And yes, 1 second. And you also want to have something that you put your spoon on to rest, because you don't want to put it onto your counter or anything like that. And then you also want to clean as you go, you know, with your dishes that's in your sink. You want to always clean as you go, because that way later on, after or before you're done eating your dinner with your family, you want to make sure that your kitchen is clean and you don't have that many dishes to do after, when everybody is done, you know, getting their food or whichever. And also, I will show you the cart that I use too for my chicken stock, so you can see which ones that you like to use. But I like to use either or, whichever chicken broth is on sale. That's what I do like to buy, because with our chicken broth, it's a different name brand, but it was 3 for $5. So I already had like a chicken broth already into our cabinet, so that's what I used. But I bought 3 chicken broths, then I bought 3 beef broth, because I'm gonna make, for my next tutorial video, cooking video, I'm going to make beef stew. That's my next tutorial on how to make beef stew, because it's cold here in Michigan, but not as cold right now. And you know, you just want to make sure that you have everything, you know, that you need. And it's like, our weather here right now is good for like soup weather, stews, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm gonna just stir these, make sure these are good. Alright. Just put that in with your oil as well. That's good to have. And then just turn off, make sure you turn off your burner also as well, from your skillet when you cook your sausages. So it's a couple tablespoons for each batch of sausages. So you want to make sure that you definitely use that. And then I'm going to show you the quarts too that I used for the stock that was in here after the roux was in here with the vegetables. I stirred it up, so this is good right now. So I'm going to show you the quarts side of what they were. So these are the 2 brands that we have in our store, in our grocery store that Hamilton and I work at. This is our family. This is the chicken broth. This is a 32 ounce, 2 pounds. So, and then this one is the 32 ounce, I'm sorry, 1 quart. So this is 946 milliliters, excuse me. So this is just like 32 ounce, but 2 pounds of this one. And then this is like it's a little smaller, no, about the same size. So yeah, about 1 quart and 1 quart is what I use for these, but I've used both of these. So these are both chicken broth, but you can use chicken stock, and you can also use seafood broth if you can find that at your local grocery store, whatever grocery store you have in your city and state. But yeah, it's just 2 quarts of chicken broth that I used. This is the name brand of Kitchen Ready, and this is our family brand. So, and you also want to make sure you have enough of those in your cabinet, which Hamilton and I always make sure that I do, because you know this type of weather is ready for, like I said, for stews, soups, you know, things like that. So my kitchen is very clean right now. And also as well too, this is the can of our family brand also as well. This is the 14.5 ounce stewed tomatoes that you want to put into your gumbo. That's about, you can put it in within the next 30 minutes, so that way by 10 o'clock your gumbo is basically will be done. And then you want to add your shrimp. This is the open acre shrimp. You also want to keep your shrimp frozen too if you're not ready to cook with it quite yet. If you want to make chicken, not chicken, but if you want to make shrimp Alfredo, that'll be my next video also as well. So there's some meals that are coming into my mind right now when I'm holding this shrimp back up. But this is the farm raised 3140 shrimp per pound, and these are peeled and deveined and the tail on, but I'm going to take the tail off because I don't really want to put it into my gumbo, because that's just what I do. So I'll be right back and you'll see the next step. Okay, step 3 is the box of Jiffy Mix that I always use. So I just used the packaging of the corn bread mix into my bowl right here. I used 1 egg room temperature, and then I used 1/3 cup of cold milk. Then I eyeballed it just a little bit more, about like not even a half a teaspoon of cold milk into the batter, and I stirred it up really well, like with a fork. That's just old school. That's just how my mom had taught me of how to make cornbread. She did teach me how to make cornbread from scratch, but I totally forgot. I just gotta call one of my family members and ask them how to make cornbread from scratch, because it's been a long time since I made the cornbread from scratch. But I normally just, now that my work schedule is crazy, I'm washing my hands if you can hear the water. So I always gotta have clean hands. With everything that you do in your kitchen, make sure your hands are very cleaned. And yes, like I said, you always want to have that towel on your shoulder, because you're going to always need it. And also in the batter mix, I put two teaspoons or tablespoons, like about, I'd say about 2 teaspoons of regular granulated sugar into the mix. Just 2, not much. That's it. And it's back in the cabinet. Yeah, so that is that. And then I'm taking my scooper, ice cream scooper. You can take ice cream scooper, a cookie scooper, whichever. And then you want to make sure with your batter that you only go halfway to the pan, and then make sure your oven is preheated to 425 degrees for your mixture. And yes, and just do halfway to the to the batter of the Jiffy cornbread mix. But if you know how to make cornbread from scratch, please let me know in the description box below. I would love to know how you all make your gumbo also as well, and how to make your cornbread from scratch, because it's been like I said, it's been a long time since I made this gumbo. And you can also use the rest of the batter that you have into your bowl. You can also make sure you can use all of it, but it's just Hamilton and I, we don't really eat it. We try not to eat like a lot of cornbread so late, especially bread. And then there's some other recipes too that I want to show you all. And if you get like a little bit of the mixture of like the batter, of the cornbread batter, onto your pan right here. And this is like my new 6 cup muffin pan that I got from my grocery store. We have them on sale, 2 for $3. So I got a lot of new bakingware also too for Christmas from Hamilton. So this is just going in my preheated oven at 425 for at least like 12-15 minutes, and then I'll show you how the end the product look at the end. And put it on your center rack there, and yeah, let it go for, let me give you the right instructions. Yeah, you want to bake them for at least 15 to 20 minutes. So yes, 15 to 20 minutes until it's light golden brown, or to however you want your cornbread to be. Or you can also put it into a Pyrex pan. This is a 8 by 11, so you can put your batter, your cornbread batter in here, and use canola oil if you want. This is the canola oil. This is in a spray pan. You just spray your pan, or you can do old school like how my mom and my aunts taught me and my grandmothers taught me. You can definitely use a couple of sheets of paper towel, and put like a couple tablespoons of butter, of spreaded butter, softened butter, whichever butter you use. But we use Imperial butter, or we use Land O'Lakes butter, so that way it's not too salty for us. And I did taste my gumbo too also before I came on video. Make sure it's good. But I'm gonna taste it one more time so you can see all how it tastes. You can see me tasting it. Ooh, hot. Ooh. Wow. You got to make this gumbo. Make this gumbo, and it takes a few hours to get it together, to get it right of how you want it. But I just want to show you about the Anchor or Pyrex baking dish pan, glass pan that you got. And then just put it in the oven. You can have foil on it, or to your pan, or you can just have no foil on top of it. But what I normally do is I normally do not put any foil onto my pan, because that's just what I don't do. Then I just put it in the oven and I wait for about 15-20 minutes. And now, since this got to get washed, and that will, and yeah, we'll be back in a few minutes at step 3, 4, I think about 3, 4, wherever I left off. It's 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, and then 4 step, and then the final step is to eat. Enjoy. So I'm going to put this into the stock pot now. My stewed tomatoes. It's 1 can. This is in a 14.5 ounce of our family stewed tomatoes with the juice and all. That is what I do, just a tiny bit, but not too much, just a little bit of it. So I just do the whole can inside of the stock pot, and like that I would do that yeah, right now. So give me a minute, or just come back and you'll see everything added on, and then you'll see the plate, and the cornbread should be ready by then, and dinner will be ready. So stay tuned to the other part or step to this gumbo. It takes a long time to make this gumbo, because I started at 8 o'clock, but I had to make sure my vegetables was chopped up already, so that way you wouldn't see that boring part of how I chop up my vegetables. But you can chop up your vegetables any kind of way that you want. It's your kitchen, how you do what you do best for you and your family. But yeah, I'll be back. Okay, bye. Hello, and welcome back to almost the end of the video of my gumbo. And what I put into in the beginning also, or in the middle of me cooking it, I put about just a couple of dashes of Worcestershire sauce. So this is what I use for my gumbo. It just brings out more it gives it like more zest, tang, however you want to say it. But that's just what I put into my gumbo, just a couple of dashes of it, not a whole lot of it. And yeah, that's it for the Worcestershire sauce. And then for the Tony's chacherres gumbo filet, you just want to do just a couple of tablespoons of it. This is the gumbo filet, and just shake off, because the sun is gonna put get into your stock pot, but that's okay. So just a half of that. Two more tablespoons of it, or teaspoons. I'm sorry, not. This is not really working. Just shake it in there because you know you. Oh man. Yeah, you don't need a whole lot of this because it gives it like a thickness to the gumbo. So not a whole lot of it, and I just did very little because of the container. And with these type of lids that come with them, you can take them off, but it's like I said, it's been a long time since I've done this gumbo, and I hope I did that right with the filet. But you can put as much or as little as you want in there. It gives it like a more thickener type thick to like the gumbo. So it gives it that extra the extra flavor. So then also you want to put in now. I had already washed my hands, but I'm gonna put my shrimp in here now. I just got one bag, and that was just like what bag? What kind of size bag was that? It was. I had it on the counter. I'm sorry. It is just the 3140 of the shrimp, peeled, deveined, large shrimp, and tailed on. But you can buy the shrimp. You can buy the shrimp with the tail off. Yeah, so let me wash my hands again. So I'm about to touch the shrimp. And I just want to make sure my hands are washed. Okay. So like at the very, very last end that you're going to serve your gumbo with the next 10 to 20 minutes. And also I turned off my my oven for my cornbread. That is also done. I just take my shrimp off the cutting board. I put it right in here, and shrimp takes about 5 minutes to cook. So just take your time as you're putting your shrimp in here. You can do like 2 bags of shrimp if you're a shrimp lover like me. I love shrimp, but shrimp is just so expensive. It was like $10 or $9 per like bag. So I was just like, I'm just making this gumbo for a few days for Hamilton and I. So you don't need a whole lot of gumbo. I mean shrimp. And then after the shrimp is done at 5, you can definitely serve your food. Your gumbo to your family. And I just want to show you what I was doing to the shrimp, just putting them in here. And the shrimp takes about 5 minutes to cook. Yes, like about 5 minutes to cook the shrimp. And then after that, your gumbo will be done. And just put your lid back on, like this. Put your lid back on, and turn up your stove top to your gumbo. Not too high, but just like at medium heat, because you want that heat to get back in. Because also after you get all your vegetables, your sauces, your chicken in here, you want to make sure you have it on medium low, because when you add the shrimp, like 30 minutes to like less than an hour, I say like less than an hour, you want to add your shrimp into your gumbo, because your shrimp takes about 5 to 10 minutes. No more than that, your shrimp and your gumbo will be done. And also a trick too as well, I learned this off of my favorite chef that I watch on YouTube and also on TV. You want to take a small bowl like this, spray it with some canola oil, cooking spray, spray it in, and then you want to scoop in your rice, a couple scoops up to like the line of it, to like right here, the line of your rice. Put that onto your bowl, and then your rice will come out more easier instead of your rice being sticky. So that's just a tip, okay? So I'll be right back, and I'll show you the final ends of the food and taste and eat. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Okay, hello, I'm back. Last and final step. Like I was saying, you want to take a little bowl that you have, like a little seasoning bowl that you can get from like the Dollar Tree. They usually come like 3 and 4 a pack of these for $1.25 now. So make sure you wash them as you get your kitchen gadgets and stuff like that from Dollar Tree, from wherever, Walmart or whichever, or Myers or Target, and just spray just a couple squirts. Okay, just like that. I'm going to do the other one for me because one's for Hamilton and one's for me. And our gumbo is basically done. I will show you like at the end. And cornbread is done also as well. So you want to just take a spoonful of like your cup here. Grab yourself a spoon. Pack your rice like that. And just like that, pack it, just flat it like this, make sure. And then you just add it to your bowl. Well, sort of came out like that, but that's okay. But yeah, but you know, you get the point of it. So you want to do the same thing. It just depends on how many people that you are cooking for. And this gumbo does serve at least 2 to maybe like six people. I want to say maybe 8. Stretch it out enough if you can. And just do the cup just like this. That's the kitchen, but it's okay. But if you want to make it fancy, you know, for your guests, or just put the rice into the spoon, into the bowl, you're good to go. And I'm going to show you how this gumbo looks. It looks so amazing because I'm ready to eat. I'm hungry. It is 10:01 p.m. This gumbo did take a few hours because I had to prep my vegetables and stuff like that. And yeah, just turn it off now because your shrimp is done. You don't want your shrimp to be too, you know, you want it to be pink, but just good enough, you know, for the gumbo. And oh my god, it looks so good. And I'm going to show you with the ladle. This is done. And I'm getting ready to serve Hamilton his gumbo. And you just put the gumbo just like right over your rice or on the side. You make it swirl, you know, swirly. Add some of the like the juice to it. Trying to get him some shrimp. Yeah, there we go. We have some shrimp. And this gumbo do take like a few hours to make, so he has a couple of shrimps in here, enough for him. I'm trying to get him one more shrimp. Yeah, there we go. So he has shrimp and cornbread on the side here. And his spoon. It's for him, so give me 1 minute. It looks so good. Oh my gosh. The best gumbo I ever made in over 5 years. So give this a try. Give me 1 second. I gotta give him his bowl, his plate. So give me 1 minute. Be right back. Okay, and then this is my bowl with my rice. And yeah, this it does make a bit served at least, oh, just dropped it, at least 2 to 6 people. So yeah. And get some of the shredded chicken in here. Oh my god, this smells so amazing. I'm literally starving. Because, oh my gosh. And then also, before I had cut off, I did add like another can of that stewed tomato. So you want to add your 2 cans of your stewed tomatoes to this. And yeah, and your gumbo is done. Serve it with some rice. And then I'm going to do a test right now. Lord, we thank you for this food. Thank you for who you are and what you are in the head of our lives. Thank you for preparing this food. Thank you for the hands that prepared it. And we're eating right now in your holy name. Amen. So this is extremely hot. But look at, I mean, the broth. Oh my God. I did such a good job. It turned out good. Let's try the broth. Try chicken and the sausage. This is extremely hot. Some rice. What? It's good. Definitely give this recipe a try. I'll definitely in the description box below I'll write the ingredients, instructions, and everything how to make it. It does take a few hours to make it, so please enjoy this gumbo, and I'm gonna get ready to eat with my boo, and I will see you all in the next video in cooking in Donnie's kitchen. So welcome to my YouTube channel. It's called In Donnie's Kitchen. So welcome everybody. God bless you all. Please stay safe and enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a blessed and wonderful week. I'll see you next video. Bye. Signing off.